Hey guys, what's going on? Randy here with Academia Christi, back again with episode 17 of the Viri Christi garden vlog. This is July the 9th. It's a Sunday. The hydroponic system. Took one of our basils out. This one looking really nice, Italian large leaf. Got the bib in the back here, lettuce. Got our Paris Island Cos and our prize head. This cilantro is just gorgeous. Look at that. Look at how many pieces we have there. Crazy. And of course the ghost peppers. I guess this is a normal thing for the ghost peppers to turn that color. The home garden. The mustard. The marigolds that still haven't come out of the container, but at least they're still alive, sort of. Rhubarb's been pulled back a little further today, actually. I might go one more time. But here, actually, we have some of the old-fashioned mustard that ended up coming up, and it's like one spot that it was actually open and not going to be just smushed back down. Wait a second. Are these seeds? Are these where the seeds are? Obviously, we're going to have... See, we have all these little things. I was wondering what all these were. Lots of flowers all over. I mean, look at it. Look at all the flowers. This thing right here is... 5'8" to 5'10" probably. We do have the one old-fashioned, and again, that's only because I sowed it in the inner ring, so it just got completely covered by the rhubarb. Here, a trench. This is where the celery is about to go. There it is, sitting over there. Beautiful onions coming up. I did do the garlic, like one row of the garlic. That's why this is so far away from the onions, where the celery is going to be. There is a row of garlic in there. I don't know if it'll come up. The carrots also just going crazy. Maybe big enough to pull them out. I guess I can keep them going. I don't know if they're still just as good if you let it go to seed. And then here, the amazing lettuce and the transplants that I'm working on. Again, stopped so I could do this. But this stuff, I didn't necessarily cut it back, but chopped off some of it, and I think enough for a couple salads. A couple salads were had from it already. There are a lot more than I had anticipated there being, but I'm not mad about that at all. Of course, we have our last prize heads left to go. Got 4 Paris Island Cos in the middle there. 8 bib. Check out all that new room we have because of where the bags were. Moved them back there. Now I'm gonna extend a little further, and I'm gonna have a row of peas soon from here and a row of beans behind it, and that'll probably be the end of the garden, home garden for this season. Got our marigolds and doing just fine here, and on the other side we'll check out these zucchini. After all the rain are taken off, gonna have some melons coming up soon. Some zucchini melons, zucchini squashes, that's what they are, or gourd family squash genus or whatever. But yeah, this is the newest one out here. Got 3 of them now. I think I spaced them far enough apart. I don't know. We'll find out. I know they grow pretty big, so. Here's the random Marglove tomato. The very first tomato we planted, which ended up working out somewhat, at least. Check out this amazing little basil patch we got going now. I mean, it has taken off like a rocket. We've had some hard rain, so this is where I would be planting those other basils that I would transplant. But just those in this one, and actually this one over here too. So there are 4 over here. They're just very tiny, but they should take off too. The other marigold here looking quite fine. Here are small cayenne. Very first one transplanted, doing okay. Actually, no, it was transplanted a little later. It was one of the last ones I had rooted in water. Other ones that were rooted in water, these jalapenos that took and were not eaten, which was the problem with some of the other ones we had. And most of the cayennes didn't look good by the time we put them in here. The jalapenos were okay. They just didn't last through the animals' munchies. Another one though here. Another one here, the best one by far. Seeing some little flowers, I think, in there. Yeah, the bottom there. One more here. Again, jalapeno rooted in water. Still need to come out, obviously still need to come out and do the rest of the weeding here. And we have the other cayenne that one nearest the marigold. These are the Gen 2 Nature's Edge cayenne. After realizing that the jalapenos and the cayennes were going to survive back here, I decided to put these all in the spots where the other cayenne were, and I'll put the other Nature's Edge Gen 2 jalapenos over here. Yeah, these cayenne are looking really nice. If we look down in here, we will see some flower buds. Probably on most of them we'll see that. These aren't, of course, as good as the one we saw in the pot. But yeah, flowers coming up, flowers everywhere. Maybe a little less flowers, smaller ones. Some of these, actually, this one is almost the only one that looks bad anymore with the bend. Again, got some flowers there. And the last one, like the others, little flowers. Not as big ones as the first ones we were looking at, but still got them. Those canary melons will be coming in the front here, and that'll be basically it for now, for this season. The market garden patches, half of the cucumber patch. I don't know how much further I'm going to go with it. I did what was going to be half, but maybe I'll just make this the initial marks where I end up going. But here first, the cucumber patch. I can't remember exactly, maybe I can. They're in order of their names, in alphabetical order. I think we had the Boston pickling first. So we had, and they were also the most of those, I believe. And look at how, oh wow, that one's going great. That one's doing great. By far the best. We'll see all the other ones, but that one I think is by far the best one we have right now. And yeah, I think we have 5 Boston picklings, so they're 4 and 5. I didn't expect to see flowers all over my cucumbers out here already, but there they are. These two are two more Boston pickling here. And I put those on the ends so I could tell where the Boston pickling began and ended. But I think the market moors are here. So 3 of those. And they're all looking good. They got dirt on them, and because everything has dirt on them, it'd be nice to have some mulch down. And we have this patch that's going down the middle too. Might as well mention that. With a couple of little cucumber guys just starting to come up. First ones were the straight 8, which we have none of, and not a whole lot of those coming up. 5 of each. By the looks of it, these 3 might be the first 3 of our Bayet alphas, which we have growing in the pots, in the pot, the tricumber. So there'll be 2 more of those, hopefully coming up. And yeah, this would be one of the straight 8s there that looks like it lost a seed leaf. This would be another straight 8 there. This would be one that just popped up, so that's good. That'd be the first one. Here's one, actually, it looks like it's coming up too. And if I'm not mistaken, one of them, might have been this one, had an issue already. Something got to it. Oh no, it was right here. This was the 4th Bayet alpha there. It's gotten. And there's one more in here somewhere. Over here, we have our Space Masters. And hopefully they will, I plan on the same spaces away, so it'll be okay, but we will maybe be able to tell how much of a master of space they are as the year goes by. 3, 4, and 5 of those. And all mostly the same. This is where our tender green purples start. That'll be 2, and then 4 more here. Looking just lovely too. All that dirt. But none of them looking as lovely as those Boston picklings. But yeah, I think there's going to be a decent amount of cucumbers just from those. I cut a bunch of this back all over the place to give myself more room for the tomatoes. 12 tomatoes, the first of them. And again, I just chunked out the dirt and I flipped the patches. This is going to have to be done soon because I have a bunch more tomatoes already ready to go in. Peppers as well. Gonna have to put that, get that going. But here, not going to be able to remember as usual with our tomatoes which exactly all of these are as I look at them here, but I know for the most part I put the bigger tomatoes in the back and then the smaller, the cherry types in the front. I think these are the Chadwicks. I have a Napa, I think, one Napa or something on the end, and a few yellow plums, my only yellow plums. I might have like two bigger varieties, like a Marglobe and a Roma or something here that didn't fit, or an Amish paste. This might be the Marglobe back here. Got a couple large red cherries, couple Chadwicks in here. Got some Cherokee purples, I think, somewhere around there or over here. And many, many more to come. My plan is to put a path here and basically have two next to each other. So path there, and then two more, and a path, and then two more rows next to each other. I doubt that there's any flowers just yet, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if by next vlog there are some. Oh, look at that. Bam. I think those are yellow plums. Here, our peppers, the first patch that we had done, they at least have a little bit of mounding there from the topsoil, but even that hasn't deterred all the weeds. But here are the habaneros. I'm not gonna take some real deep looks at them unless I feel the need. These are from the 16th here, the first four. March 16th, and then we have our March 9th ones. Rebel Garden ones looking real tiny. Most of them looking really tiny now that they're in the ground, to be honest. Hoping they'll perk back up. I mean, they're at least growing somewhat. I've had a lot of still pest issues. I was hoping that I'd have more predators for those pests out here, but I don't know. There's a ton of aphids. These last three from the 2nd of March, we lost one of them. I believe it was Rebel Gardens habanero, but I think we have a new Rebel Gardens habanero. We'll see those later. But yeah, the habaneros being so small, they're just getting wrecked. There's just dirt caked all over them. I kind of cleaned them up. I think they're okay now for the most part, but then you get up here into the leaves in there, and I can't get to it. So yeah, the cayennes from the 2nd. Again, only 3 of these from the 2nd. I think it was the sustainable sprout actually that didn't make it from the 2nd of March. But some flowers coming up on those finally. I think they were a little stunted from just taking so long to get them out here. These doing a little more okay from the 9th because they weren't stuck as long. You can see some nice flowers coming up all over on these already. This would be the Nature's Edge there first. And second here, I say that because it's important, because this is the sustainable sprout, which I was probably, because usually it's doing the best. A couple flowers again coming up. Serenity, a couple flowers. These from the 9th, I think, are the furthest along. Actually, whoa, look at that. Where is that from? Right there. There it is, the first one, Serenity, I think, wins. And I was just going to say that Rebel Gardens was winning. So close to having a win. But I don't think I missed any that were fertilized or that were pollinated on the other ones. But these will certainly be done soon themselves. Rebel Gardens. Going on ya. And here we have, from the 16th, not looking as good, Nature's Edge. Still has some flowers on it at least. Sustainable sprout. Serenity, even worse. And unfortunately, this Rebel Gardens got wrecked. Luckily, it has some flowers coming back, or some leaves coming back, so it should survive. And now the jalapenos from the 16th. These are actually looking quite nice now that they're taking root in there. Bigger leaves, chunkier stalks, some flowers. Cool, cool, cool. Now, I didn't expect to see flowers on the habaneros yet because they're habaneros. It's nice to see them on both the cayenne and the jalapenos, though. And they seem to usually fruit around the same time. Cayenne do seem to be a little faster. Now, this is interesting. This is one that was gotten by the cutworm. I'm pretty sure that this thing took root when I just stuck the top back in. Either way, The old stem that I just also left in there, stuck the top of it and next to it, did come back with a vengeance against the cutworms. We have another from the 9th. That was the Rebel Gardens. This is Surrounding Seeds, Sustainable Sprout here. More flowers, it looks like, little ones. And Nature's Edge, the other one that got cutwormed. And again, looking perhaps like it may just work out. Maybe if I put them a little further away, it would have been better, but that's all right. This one again came back. It's crazy. This is what I like to see. There you go. So the 9th cayenne are doing good because it was a little long. They usually come up a little earlier, I think, than jalapenos. The cayennes from the 2nd were a little late getting, or they're, yeah, probably too late, I should say. Here the jalapenos from the 2nd might be a little more on time. So you see a nice flower there, nice two-pronging happening. I mean, these look like beautiful peppers. And another one with a big old aphid on there. Got nice flowers. And finally, ooh, look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Gonna have some really nice looking, if they survive all the pests and other things, some really nice looking jalapenos back here, I believe. And other things. And of course there's going to be at least twice as many as we have now planted in here, if not more than twice as many, probably more than twice as many. I'm also going to mention that here's where the melons are going to go. Probably going to start right about here-ish. I want to get at least maybe 5 feet, a little more if I can. Start about there, run it along the fence down to there, maybe curve it inward to where those rocks are. And finally over here, well, first, California Wonders that definitely need to get out of here. Maybe I'll put them in the home garden somewhere near the other peppers. Okay, here we have, oh, look at that. It's like some tomato sweat there happening. But yeah, look at these beautiful early girl tomatoes coming up by seed here. I mean, they are just doing wonderful. Not only that, but look over here. Look at these. These are California Wonders. Tons of California Wonders. Almost every single one of these came up, and these were from a store-bought pepper, bell pepper. I say California Wonders. They're probably just some kind of smaller bell pepper. They might not be too small, but yeah, they're from a store-bought pepper. Threw the seeds in there, and man, I was surprised how many came up. Add here to the grapes in the other newer apple trees. Go our close grape here first. Starting to look like I may need to brace them already with something. Start giving them something to trellis up, because that branch, I'm glad to see that something is growing there, but it needs held up, I think. This marigold not looking so good. This one looking about the same. Like how it's always nice and prominent straight up in the air there. Not sure what's happening in there. The little pointy guys in there. But that's something. Definitely something happening. Again, this marigold doing that. And there's beautiful, beautiful marigold there. First apple here, the Honey Crisp. Its marigold is doing fine. And not sure we're going to see any apples on this year. Not seeing any at all. We will probably, because of that, see some new growth, a lot more new growth, maybe, hopefully. At least it'll be doing something. Oh, wait a second. Hello. One random apple on the tree. But it's there, I guess. Nothing else. Hopefully it'll last. We'll see if it does. Got a big old mark there already. But hey, there's one. At least we know at least we know it works. The tree works. Oh man. This one I was going to say I'm much less worried about. Its marigolds are looking just fine. But it is bent over. If you look down here at the stem and even the trunk, nothing really, it's really just up here. So I'm wondering if it's just because of the apple. You really think it could be because of the apples that it's doing that? Because this was almost straight up, and I hope it will remain that way, because again, has a really nice structure so far. Not only that, but has a lot of nice apples, very nice looking apples. If only it wasn't. Of course, all the heavy winds don't help. and all the heavy rain doesn't help. Hopefully I'll be able to fix that soon. Macintosh is what this one is. First, out on the porch, have our sages. Decent one here. Maybe should cut that top off. The dead one, probably should just get rid of that. And the nice one there. Got one lavender, the bigger one, smaller lavender. Both of them looking okay. They might even root again. These are the marjoram. Bad marjoram, should get rid of that. Good marjoram, should probably cut that back. As we round the corner, we see the parsley here, still doing its thing as it has been. A couple of these were like shriveling away. I don't know if they're just kind of dying off or what. Happening on a lot of them though. Also, this strawberry that we had quarantined can probably cut back a few of those other leaves that were browning, but it's obviously come back quite nicely. Even has a bunch of that huge flower stem there, flower stalk. Here are the dying nursery plants. I'm gonna actually try to get all of those in the ground somewhere soon. The peanuts are doing their thing. As always, not a whole lot of difference except that. I assume what will happen is maybe the tendrils come out of the flower then and stick into the ground. So we'll hopefully see that soon. Again, more nursery plants that I really want to get in the ground. The cone flowers in the back here, especially, definitely the lavender that's already flowering. Look how awesome that looks. These geraniums are coming back really nicely. Lovely flowers on them right now. Again, we would like to get those in. I think they're perennials and they crawl around, so some good ground cover for years to come. Same with the lemongrass, if we can get it to survive in our climate. But again, look at how dead it's getting. It is grass, so it'll be okay. We just really need to get it somewhere. Here, still nothing in this bottom left corner, but we have our parsley still doing its parsley things. Have the cilantro coming up pretty nicely, I think. Just noticed that the dill, the couple of dill that survived all the hard rain, has been dug up by the darn chippies, I assume. The arugula, I was just out here yesterday plucking some flowers. Obviously starting to just take over. Not sure if that's an actual plant or that over there. I think this though is the chard. Yes, all of the all the lettuce was coming up. Well, that one's done. We do have this and this. Might as well just put another lettuce back in here. Yeah, so more parsley still alive. This one and both of these now just alone in their containers. This one actually doing really well now. It's has been the best parsley we've had for a bit now. It's gonna probably retain that title. Finally to the pot of herbs here from the hydroponics, all transplants. And again, got quite a hole there. Just started down here with our parsley, the other parsley. It's coming up nice now, starting to come up nice. I think maybe I've just been underwatering because it seems like the rain's really helping this stuff out. The dill, you can probably see maybe the aphid that's caught in a spider web there, so I'm gonna just let that go. I've learned now, finally, almost too late for this one, but maybe not quite. You gotta top the dill like you do other herbs, like with the basils here, we'll see. Not so much with the parsley because it grows like that down with the stem there, the base. This is the large leaf Italian. Starting to have some leaf nodes popping up on the stem, finally. But again, they were topped. They're starting to bush up quite nicely. That's another leaf node there. Probably even bigger, I would say. But more and more looking like normal plants. And now for the tomatoes. Our early girl, the last one transplanted, in these new 5-gallon nursery fabric bags. Early girl actually probably ready to be have a little bit of care taken to it. Suckers growing toward the bottom, all over the place, really. Actually, look at that. It already has a little flower bundle. Let's take a look at all of how wonderful these things are looking. I mean, they're okay with the rain. These pots have been filled to the brim with water because we've just had these downpours. But the tomatoes are doing their thing. All these flowers. This is the black crim. These are going to be some big ones, I think. That's a nice big flower bud bundle there. But some of these surely are being pollinated. Here, the bodacious, but don't quote me on that. But again, it's looking nice. Either way, it's one of the beefsteaks. No open flowers yet, but certainly getting there. And some of these already have a second brace. Good old Brandywine red there. Definitely going to be getting, I might even double up my tomato varieties. I might go for about 20 next year. Actually, I might have about 20 right now. Again, all of them are looking nice. This is one of the shorter ones, it looks like. I'm definitely going to have to try our hand at some preserving of some tomato seeds. Definitely going to be doing a lot of canning, jarring, pickling of stuff. Maybe not pickling of tomatoes, obviously, but of stuff. Saucing, preserving. That'll be this fall and into the early winter, of course. But yeah, this aroma here, doing just fine. All of them doing just fine. A lot of flowers on here. I don't think we have any actually fruiting yet. We could further on here. We'll see, maybe on the Cherokee purple, because some of these might be pollinated. I just don't think they're quite fruiting yet. But that means, I mean, they're basically in the process of. It's just kind of hard to see them. This again, one that's tied up a second time. So yeah, a lot of flowers on this cherry. Yeah, there's the main stem, and then there's a ginormous sucker right here. That one's huge now. But yeah, that's where that's coming from. And there's also another one. Yeah, there we go. So this is all, I think, another sucker here, which is crazy. Here though, I snuck a peek while I was talking about that one. I'm not gonna lie, the Cherokee purple, the very first one that came out. Also the biggest one, which is why I brought it out first. Look at that thing. Oh my, so big. Branches, it just breaks into two. It's like a tree almost. But hey, look at this. There it is, fellas. That's our first fruiting tomato. I hear bees flying around. I don't think this area is wanting for bugs and pollinators. Cherokee purple. That's definitely going to be one that first fruits probably have to be eaten on stream, on, live-ish at least. Anywho, got our Amish paste. Getting nice flowering. Very nice and long. It's actually standing up much nicer than most of the other ones, it looks like to me. But I'm liking the look of all of them. This is the super sauce. Maybe liking its look a little less than some of the other ones. Probably the smallest one. This last one here was a week. This is the other beefsteak. Either the regular or the bodacious. And oh my! Now it started doing really well in the hydroponics when it was by itself, after all the others came out, and I was still waiting to get something to put this in. So that might explain why it's doing quite well. But it has a lot of flowers that also look like they've been pollinated. At least some of them. So let's see if there's any, like this one right here. Almost, I don't know what they're supposed to look like. I'm much more well versed in peppers, but that could be a pollinated tomato flower. Again, I think the regular beefsteak could be the bodacious super sauce hybrid. Has flowers though, even if it's doing the worst. One of them has to be the worst, right? Other than the early grow on the end, that would have to be the actual worst. But it'll be a little smaller. It's a bush variety. I think it grows a little differently. It's also going to be restricted in its pot, being much smaller, but yeah. And so the first part of the strawberries here, these three, the runners, that were successfully transplanted into these little pots. All the strawberries, though, pretty much, I'm sure, just loving all the rain. Flowers just all over the place. There's so many flowers on these strawberries, they're going crazy. And of course on this side I was just trying to stay out of the sun. These two coming up really nicely on the side. Whichever one was the second runner to go in is of the white everbearing, the normal everbearing. But the top and the first one I got in, I think was the lower one here, is the red everbearing. So we will have a little variety. Again, more strawberries. Hopefully I'm gonna get them in the ground if I'm lucky in the next 2 weeks. This month would be my hope. They're looking good again. Flowers all over the place. They've come up like crazy. Here we are with the potatoes. I'm tempted to find out what is in here, and I'll probably do that and attach it to this video. I mean, it's still alive to some extent. Hasn't died back the whole way like I've read and heard you're supposed to let potatoes do. But they've been mangled by the chipmunks. Kind of ready to pull them out, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to be used probably for, I don't know exactly what, probably a ghost pepper. And so I have some time to wait. One of my dad's friends brought these random tomatoes. They are Rutgers tomatoes. Certainly find a place to put them. They definitely don't look too bad. Quite long already, but several leaves. A little stringy, but hey, those are my tomatoes. Here, some of the last, I guess, of May 12th tomatoes to go in the ground. Still don't have enough room for them. Probably just about big enough. They were a little later coming into their solo pots, but probably about ready to come out. I think a lot of these are the cherry types. They're small types, so we have, I think, two super sweet, yeah, and the Margalobe on the end there. This one's the Napa grape. Here we got some of the peppers from the 12th. These are the ones these are actually the pepper brand experiment of the. These are 3 cayenne. There were 3 cayenne, 3 habanero. So yeah, those are the habaneros. These 2 jalapenos as well. Then there they are. Not bad, not bad. A couple more of the tomatoes I wasn't able to get in smaller solo pots, but I only had a couple, so I just put them in some other containers. There's one of the super sweets. Looking good. I think, yeah, since I didn't have so many of the super sweets as I did the others, I figured I'd put that in the bigger container. Chadwick cherry, one of the better looking Chadwicks. Looking quite nice. Nice and chunky guy there. So yeah, could we even pluck all these guys off. Anyway, back to some herbs here. The top of the other marjoram that's transplanted from the hydroponics, this one doing just much better. It's awesome. I guess this is probably one of my most successful herbs. I think these are flowers up there, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe by next vlog we'll see those. Down here is the sage that we moved out of the giant planter that had 4 Mediterranean herbs in it. Since it was down to 2, I figured I'd just move them into their own pots. I think they'll appreciate the clay pots more anyway. This one looking really nice. Got a new little leaf node there starting up. These are the last of the tomatoes. The worst of the tomatoes from the 12th. Didn't want to have them go to complete waste, so threw them in some of the cups. That's why I'm thinking maybe I'll use the cups again for if I really need to throw some stuff in cups. These tomatoes, not that it was bad, but I ran out, so this super sweet ended up in a cup, but it's looking nice. This, I think, is either another no, it's a Margalobe, actually. I have to do a better job of thinking about considering where to put the tomatoes, because they take more space than the peppers and the cucumbers do. This is the Bonchi chili and basil table, I guess, or it will be at least soon. Right now it has some other herbs. We'll just focus on the herbs though for now. The first basil. This is the other one that was cut out of the hydroponics. This was the Genovese. doing great now, finally. Leaves bursting out all over the place. And then we have these red basils that were from the nursery but rooted in water. This one's a little newer, so don't want to do too much moving around to that one. And here, this one much older. This one's looking great. It's even been plucked, cut, topped right there. I could definitely use a little bit of a trim back on some of those older, lower leaves, but yeah, looking just great. One of my successful lavenders growing there. You can see it's finally looking a little more like those nursery ones. And the marjoram that was from the hydroponics that I topped, and we saw the result of that already, that amazing looking one. This one a little held back, I guess, but still here. It's not looking bad at all now. It's coming together. It's coming together. It has a smaller pot too, so got to keep that in mind. Two of our beasts. Let's check out this sweet basil, which is getting torn apart by something, I guess. But other than that, you can see that is where a couple weeks ago I topped it right here, and this is where we're at. This is where we're at. There it is. We could even do that again in some places probably. And finally here, another one that's been eaten a little bit by something. Beautiful, beautiful spearmint, which more and more just takes over this container. That's why they tell you to put it in pots, I guess, because it will do just this, no matter where it goes. Some of these are like fresh little shoots coming out of the ground, and they already look like part of the main plant is just as big. That was the very first one. I think I'd like to top it right about there. But yeah, spearmint going nuts itself. I think I may have forgotten the red basil on my way through, so here we go. I think this is a flower. Cool. Has a bunch of them actually. Well, a couple at least there. But just like the sweet basil, looking amazing. This is cut back right down there, I believe, and so we have these two long new stems coming out. Yeah, and look how gorgeous it is. Oh man, I love that color. Now onto the peppers. I never know really where to start, but I guess I will start right here with these very awesome my December peppers, my two December peppers, the cayenne and the serrano, the two that survived my initial gardening escapades. Some decent sized flowers on there, huh? Yeah, they're coming up. They're coming. Even better probably. The serrano coming back strong, even though it's very sideways. I have a couple sideways peppers now. There's multiple flowers you can see all over the place. But there's one, there it is, that is about to open. And we are about to have our first serrano pepper, hopefully, growing. Here, the solo potted California Wonder. Nice bundle of flowers happening there. Probably gonna pluck those once I can, let it get a little bigger because it's still a little scrawny thing. Probably gonna let this get a little bigger before I let the flowers go. But it's looking nice, nicer than most of the California Wonders. All right, there's the one. Also has its own nice little bundle of flowers. Here the other. Sun's not helping it at all. But yeah, again, this one too. Looks much like the others. I guess they're all kind of doing the same. It's good to see they're finally getting some flowers. We saw all the browning leaves. I don't see any brown leaves now. They actually look amazing. This is the Generation 2 cayenne from Nature's Edge, and it has some nice little flowers that are probably soon to be open. Starting on it, I'm gonna let that go. You can see we didn't see this on many of my peppers yet, so I might as well show you now that it's happening. The suckers that grow from peppers as well, just like on tomatoes. It's like a whole new pepper plant. This was my best of the Gen 2 cayennes. Again, that being from the first fruit that I had grow in the hydroponics. Took the seeds, threw them in a seed starter, and here we have them. The best looking one. The other one's gonna see We saw back there in the garden. See some flowers and some branching happening eventually there. But yeah, tons of that already going on at the top. It's gonna be a nice little pepper, I think. This I read is like, it's not a true 5 gallons, but it is the 5-gallon measurement of a nursery bag. But this is almost the right size for basically anything. To me, it seems a little small for a tomato, maybe. I don't know if I'd want them in this. I'd probably go for, this is twice the size here, the 10-gallon. There's also a 7. I'd probably go at least a 7 myself, but what do I know? Come over here to our other banana peppers, or the first banana peppers I guess we're looking at. We only have 4 at this point, the one that's indoors, the 3 that are here. So yeah, nice flowers growing on here. Again, these are from the nursery, so had much more of a head start than most of my other things. So it's looking nice. This one also looking nice, has a little bit of leaf damage, but that's okay. Nonetheless, it has flowers, maybe a couple less than the other one, but that's okay. Still doing nice. But look at this honking one next to it, the one that's in the pot by itself. It's much bigger, and because of that, you can see we also have some very close to open flowers on here too. And so it might be a race between this and the Serrano at the moment. We might see some more flower buds though, which is going to be our third type of pepper that comes up, and the first that comes up outside. But this pepper is looking amazing. We'll check out some of them right now. I guess the Hungarian black, it's been blowing a bit sideways, always the wrong way. It's a nice curve now though, so pretty resilient. It's worked out, and you can see here too, flowers just all over. Not open yet, but they look really cool, don't they? So they got the dark purple stem like the rest of the plant basically, and then they have that striped dark purple and green leading to the flower. Just an interesting striped color as well. So it's coming along nicely. One of the first yogurt peppers, yogurt container started peppers. This in the Aleppo, which was the one that was up there. Look at this just dense canopy it has here at the top. Again, one of the best looking peppers I think we have. I don't know if this is, it can't be sun damage. It's got to be something trying to eat it or whatever. But it's okay. Again, like the other ones, I think it'll be just fine with that. It's quite large enough now to deal with some pest issues itself. Got nice flowers. I don't think any are super close to opening, but I don't think it'll take too long for them. And this will be one of the spicier. I guess not as spicy as a cayenne though. Cayenne's still the spiciest that we've had. And over here our 4 bonsai chilies. One of them actually finally in a bonsai container. Kind of small, but just fit what we had. I should think this container will work out. I might put one in a bigger one of these fish peppers, because I think it'd be nice to get one large one, since I got 3 of these and only one of the Ring of Fire cayenne, which I think the peppers is the only other one that has a flower started on it that's open. I mean, I count that as open, I suppose. Has some other nice ones in there. It's looking really good. All these other ones, this was the smallest one and oldest fish pepper from the 2nd of March. This is from the 9th. This is the 16th in this one as well. But that, the Ring of Fire cayenne, definitely doing the best. Has the most flowers on it too. I don't know if I saw any flowers on the fish, but now the variegated foliage, very prominent all over it. Looks amazing. I think the flowers and the fruits will also be pretty nice looking. But yeah, no flowers yet, I don't think. Just on this one. Cayenne, a different variety, maybe just a little faster. And finally, for the very first or second round of the hydroponic peppers, first one to come out, the Anaheim chili here. finally all of them, I think, too. I think it's all of them flowering. And I'm going to keep these. It did at first. I plucked a few of them, and then it didn't have flowers for a while. And I started to get concerned. But now all of a sudden, it's loaded. They are much older than most of the other ones, too. The two poblanos came out. I think this was the first to come out, the larger of the two. These flowers might be even bigger. So that might also be because of the variety. Poblanos are much bigger than the Anaheim chilies. But yeah, several flowers on there. Got our other poblano. Several flowers on that one. Yeah, and this I think was just all within the last week. And this, the last one to come out, and our only yellow Hungarian botwax. Still two, those are still the two older brown leaves there, so no new browning, but not a whole lot of leafing either, even though we do have, again, more flowers there as well. Not much happening over here yet with our oregano. Hopefully it starts getting a little bigger than that. Probably needs a little more water. The tricumber and dill, which is right now just the duocumber and dill. I now finally realized, it was very stupid of me not to have, but realized that dill needs to be topped, just like all other herbs, perhaps most other herbs, if not all. You can see now it's stopped. It won't continue to grow longer and longer and longer and longer. It's already insanely long, but at least now I stopped the main growth. You already see, look at how much it's already grown from there. But it also has this new shoot down here, which makes it twice as bushy as it was before. And you can see this one in the back, same thing done. In fact, now if these get a little bigger, I wouldn't mind cutting this whole thing off there, and this would be the very top, and eventually being able to top it from there. And again, if we do another dill, the third dill over here, then we can make sure that that one turns out normally. To the cucumbers, this is our first, obviously. Starts right here, kind of curls around this direction, and then back up over here, and then back over here, and then it comes up here, up to here. Right about there is the top of it. And these small leaves are part of it. And then also here, it actually did like a double branch now, where it has this thing coming up over here, and over here, in fact, it does have a few nice sized leaves, 3 nice sized leaves. This one belongs to the first cucumber. The second pepper, or the second cucumber, though, you can see starts there, wraps around this direction, around the dill almost, but it started its life in this pot. It's just been, and it's almost been out here the whole time. It comes up this way. Most of the big leaves, other than the ones I pointed out, belong to it. Up here, it's going crazy. Move it up, and you can see just how crazy this thing is. Let's see where it started here, and then this is where it came down this direction, and then bent the whole way around this way. It's got these tendril guys are all over the place, and it's come back around this way. But then also it has this top one that it decided, oh wait, okay, I'm attached there, so maybe I'll focus on that. It's sort of going to start shading everything out below here if it continues to do that, which I guess would be okay. I think last time it was like just started over top of the black one, and I had mentioned how that before that I mentioned it was going to quickly outgrow the black trellis. Well, now it's not only outgrown it, but it's wrapped the whole way around, that it's almost coming back up from the back onto here. And not only that, but it has this other one here that it's begun. No cucumbers. There were a couple of female flowers at some point, but I missed the pollinating window of all of them, so we don't actually have any cucumbers yet. Here, one of our first peppers. This is our solo potted jalapeno. It will be outside soon. It's had its issues with a lot of black little gnats, and like crawling around inside. I can see them. You can maybe even see them. There's so many of them flying around. So it's quarantined from everything else. I'm not sure if something about the humidity and the, I don't even know. Anyway, there you have all the lovely little jalapenos started up. I think last count was 24. Some of them still very tiny. I don't know. That one's very, very tiny. Maybe it's just started. We could have some that end up being duds, but we certainly have a lot that are not. 2, 4, and 6, I would say, already 6 nice sized ones. And again, it's been outside now, so getting a lot more sun. And we might as well go to those now. Just noticing this, I don't know what that's about, and I'm wondering, again, if it is a bug that's causing this. No jalapenos coming up. Maybe just a couple flower buds starting on these. They need fertilized soon. There's actually a nice looking flower bud right there. And there's another nice flower bud right here, actually. 2 from the same to this one in the back. And I'm not seeing any for this one. Here, it's really hard to categorize these at this point because in their lives. This, the one that was the smallest pepper, cut back early on along with this one right here, which is now the biggest pepper. This little guy had another flower down here that I thought was fertilized or pollinated, but it must have fallen off, must not have made it. I don't think it has any more at the moment. Must be really focusing on that nice little cayenne, but it's really coming along pretty quickly. Once it's done, I'm going to just snip off right above the last sucker, so it'll make it a little bushier like the one in the back there. Yeah, so of course the bottom is a little bit behind the other one. You can't see it, and it's just leafing up just like the rest of it is, a little less though. But of course at the top, as always, just like peppers just know what they're doing. Yeah, right. But then up here you have, and I didn't even notice until just now how many, but 5 nice looking flowers starting. So could have a couple more cayenne coming up there. If I want to keep it where it is. This is the biggest cayenne right now, and it's only taken 2 days for this to happen. This one basically ready in 2 days. This one, I didn't see any changes. It might have been very faintly changing yesterday. So that's on its first day of change. This one on its second day of change. I could just take them off today. I'd take them both today, say whatever. I think maybe just leave them one more day, maybe 2 more days, take them off then. And I am, again, like I said, with that jalapeno over here that I might cut back quite substantially. And with this cayenne over here, the small one that also has a one growing on it, I'm going to take both of these long branches off of it, bring it back down to its just this main trunk with several of its leaf nodes already started up again. And the last pepper that kind of fits in with these guys, because it's the other pepper that stays on the porch all the time, the one banana pepper that we are babying. So I have some banana pepper seeds for next year. And look at those nice leaves though. So yeah, now it's a little higher, getting more sun. It is looking really, really nice. One of the better peppers. Again, no damage at the moment, at least. Still waiting on some flowers from this. Probably going to see them soon. If not, may already be there. That's actually a flower right here. You probably can't see it, but right about there. Maybe another one right there. Not sure. Yeah, it's doing something. Structurally, it looks pretty great, I would say. As usual, no problem doing like a 2-prong thing there. Starting to prong out even further now. Down here, all the melons that I would have hoped to have in the ground by now, but again, so much rain. If I'm lucky this week, and then also one of our red basils that we were able to pluck out, root and water, and now just today put into this pot. This one I'm going to be giving away. Those in the very front are some cantaloupe, and then I have even more cantaloupe and the last cucumbers also that didn't come up yet. Again, just saving them, seeing what happens. And even further on, 3 more Jiffy pot like these cucumbers that didn't come up. Those also I'm waiting on. Canary melons in the back here. Hopefully get those in the home garden, in the front of the home garden sooner than everything else that has to go in the melon patch, which will be all these 2 honeydew. 2 more honeydew just like that over there. And in the middle, there was 1 more cantaloupe. I think I had another cantaloupe, but that 1 cantaloupe on the end there, it got ripped out, I believe, just naturally, if you can call it that. Yeah, 4 honeydew, just 1 cantaloupe in there in the middle. All these in the middle, running down the middle here, are my watermelons. There are 9 crimson sweet now, because we got this little guy that popped up. So just 1 that didn't of those, and we have 8 of the sugar babies. But now it looks like certainly we have 9 and 7. Don't know what happened with this one. I wonder if it has something to do with, I don't even know. That looks like a root rot type, like it looks rotten is why I say that, and it looks toward the roots. In here, the workstation, lastly, you can see the couple basil I have. That one actually from the hydroponics unit. Here we have the rest of our peppers from the 12th of May. The last ones I got to transplant into the solo pots, those cherry bombs there. Here we have the pepperoncinis. Again, just working on all these today. Those cherry bombs will go in after the stream. Pepperoncinis, Greek ones, looking great now in their solo homes that they'll be in a couple weeks or so. A nice mild pepper that the whole family can enjoy. Here we have another nice mild pepper, our other Jimmy Nardellos. Again, looking nice. That just sun damage, I think there, maybe. A dying leaf. But yeah, good looking peppers. These will be going back in the back with the other ones. Here, the second batch of our tomatoes, other ones all in the ground basically, or in solo pots. These need to go in solo pots. Hopefully soon. I did buy some on Amazon, but they're very delayed in shipping. So these are all basically cherry types. These are the large red cherries. All 3 come up now. This one was the last one, but it's looking just fine. All the Chadwicks came up a long time ago. You can see they're looking really long. They basically just hang out outside. They would be outside more often, and they would probably look much better. These 2 wouldn't be sideways. I think those are, there we go, 2 grapes, unfortunately. 2 of our Napa grapes. There are 2 plums. One of the 2 plums is also sideways. Wouldn't look as bad as that. Wouldn't look as long if we haven't been getting as much hard rain as we've been getting. If we've been, again, of course, getting more sun. But got our super sweets, cherries, and regular large cherries and Chadwicks all in this one. All the super sweet, luckily, because we didn't do as many of those. 3 of the Chadwicks and just 1 of the large red cherries. I think, yeah, there's a second one just started there. Yeah, it's been even like over a month for some of the seeds to just start randomly germinating. But yeah, these from the 12th or 23rd, I should say, of May, not looking bad. Hopefully, gonna get those potted into solo pots soon, which will also give them a little fertilizer boost. And then again, yeah, hopefully get them in the ground in a couple weeks. The other 23rd plants are our peppers. Got our Nature's Edge jalapenos, the Generation 2. Again, you can tell left out in the rain, hard rain at one point, means that most of the seeds that weren't germinated won't germinate. Maybe they will, who knows, what do I know. But we have 3 still looking, decent looking jalapenos. Here are our Jimmy Nardellos and California Wonders. Last of the California Wonders, but we did do more Jimmy Nardellos later on, we'll see. Again, caught out in the rain, but looking okay still. 4 and 4, not terrible. Again, these will need to go in. These, again, would have been in solo pots like the 23rd. Tomatoes, still not, though. All right, and peppers from June 1st. Those are the pepperoncinis there first, and then the Anaheims and the poblanos in the back. Unfortunately, there's a new poblano just sprouted. I think one of these Anaheim was actually maybe also fresh, or maybe not. But one of the 3 poblanos has been chewed up. You can see these crazy roots they already have. Oh my. Cherry. Also chewed. Hungarian black chewed up a little bit. The Yellow hot wax are okay. Yeah, the cherry bombs, maybe the favorite. Whatever I'm getting at them. But they don't look bad otherwise. They've now been fertilized. There are Aleppos, Serranos, Hinkle Hots, and Pekins all coming up. That's just dirt. Yeah, again, they look really nice. They actually haven't been eaten at all. I don't think nothing got to this one. Aleppos definitely, and Serranos came up first. The Hinkle Hots and Pekin took a little longer, and that might just be normal. They're in order of heat, and as I've seen so far, it seems like the hotter they are, the longer they take to come up. Especially once you get to habanero and plus, those take a bit longer than the others. Those are actually a whole different species of pepper. Pepper is actually a genus, capsicum, and then there's like 4, at least I think, maybe 5 species of pepper, which would be the annuums, which are basically all these I think are annuums here. Your mild types, jalapenos and cayennes. And then your chinennes would be your habaneros and all your other super hots. We have one baccatum, which we'll be seeing in a second. Mostly we just have the annuum and the chinennes, the 2 most popular. Speaking of habaneros, here are one of each different type other than, I think, Nature's Edge. So we got our Rebel Gardens, our Serenity in the middle, Sustainable Sprout on the right. Looking pretty good. Again, as far as habaneros are concerned, yeah, these are again from the 1st of June. Liking how they look. Some of the better habaneros we have, some of the first ones we didn't look as great. Hopefully we can just get them in the ground at a reasonable time. And here are our Serranos. Again, same time from the 1st. Nature's Edge, 3 of them in the back. Not looking bad. But these Sustainable Sprout, the only 2 types we have. Sustainable Sprout, I would say, looking better right now, at least, than the Nature's Edge. And yeah, you saw this little wilted leaf for some reason. Happens randomly once in a while on some of them. Also, we have our basils from the 7th here, before I show the 7th peppers. Italian large leaf in the middle, the Thai, which has a red stem apparently in the back there. Genovese in the front. Really need to pull the smaller ones out and do something with them. But yeah, not looking bad. Smelling fantastic. And our peppers from the 7th then. All our different habaneros. Got our orange, our yellow, and our white here. Looking good. No damage from anything at the moment. A month old, that's why I would like to maybe fertilize them, but you can see they're not huge yet. They don't maybe know, I don't know. Probably should fertilize them because they at least most of the ones that are up now have their first set of true leaves. I think usually you want to wait for the second set to start, but whatever. We have our red habaneros in the front. This one, I believe, maybe it was just this one that failed. For some reason, I thought there was 2 of the reds. I think it was, I'll have to go back and look, but I believe it was maybe cut by a cutworm right as this one sprouted. But maybe this habanero, maybe that red one will come back. But anyway, yeah, the chocolate habaneros, still not seeing a whole lot of them, but we do have one here, finally, coming up in this. Or the ghost peppers are doing great. Almost at different times in their life. Good to see at least have one of each. We do have more chocolate habaneros. Yeah, here are yogurt container starts. All the habaneros from the 11th now, just a little older than the last ones. The yellow ones there on the end. Got the whites next. 2 yellows in there. One nice one coming up there. Same happening with the whites, 2 in the bottom, 1 nice one in the top. Opposite for the reds, 2 in the top that actually look the best of the doubled up ones. I think they actually came up first though, and then red one there. So it's nice to see 3 reds there. Bring you in closer here for these chocolate habaneros. There are little seeds just starting. Let's try to just help them out a tad here. Ooh, let's not go too crazy. But both of them are up. There's that one there. There's this one right here. That would make 3 if both of those work out. And I thought there was one in this one too. There is right there. So we have 4. And finally we reach the peppers from the 15th. The final ones that actually themselves also look like they're all basically ready to go in the ground, other than needing to be hardened off still. As you can see, I failed to get these back indoors quick enough, but they're alright. But look at how long, that's why I need to start, because these Shishitos just popped off. The Cubanelles and the Santa Fe Grandes, actually this whole one came up really quickly. So hopefully we can do something with those soon, because they already almost look like they want to come out. Definitely need to start getting them in the sun more, and maybe even fertilizing them. I don't know, maybe fertilizing them soon. It is getting close to a month for them as well, so should be okay. Here, the second hottest tray are Big Jim's, not Jimmy Nardello's here, but the Big Jim New Mex peppers, New Mexico State. Again, these and the Charlestons, actually the Charlestons and the Thais, Charleston Hots and the Thais, both came up a little slower, but you can see they're already getting leggy themselves. I'm really hoping that next season I can do a little better with the legginess of these plants. I'm getting a little bent over because, yeah, I think they would prefer a little more sun than they've been getting in here. Hence why I started hardening them off. And finally, the last one there. And this one is probably going to have the biggest struggles, although maybe it'll be all right. Because these are my only ahis, my only capsicum bacatum species peppers. And I'm hoping that they will do okay up here in my mountainous climate, more than maybe some of the other peppers. One of our 7-pot Jonah, our second hottest pepper, and one of our Naga Vipers, the hottest. The ahi lemons are not, or which are also called lemon drop peppers, are not the third hottest. They were just, I don't know, they just seem to fit the best out of all these peppers with these. I think the both the Thai and the Charleston Hots are hotter than the lemons, but none of them are as hot as habaneros. These get up to a habanero spice, and the lemon drops get up to these spices maybe of the Charleston Hot and the Thai, but not quite to the upper heat limits. But also, look, I'm not sure if this is going to be something that we see continuing through all the leaves of the Bacatum species. It does look like it's more as broader. Again, super bent. Need to start dealing with that. Here are the final peppers. These are from the same time. 2 more Jonahs, 2 more Vipers, 7-pot Jonah, Naga Vipers, 2 hottest types. Just one of the Naga Vipers coming up now. Still have faith in the other ones though. Not too worried yet. This is only the second Viper and only 1 7-pot Jonah so far. So yeah, hopefully a couple more come up. Looking good.